Do you have any of those places that you love to fish that are just almost magical to you? They're just special. Well, that's where I'm headed today, is one of those places for me. The last time I was here was in the spring. I hooked into over 30 fish and I landed about half of those. Just heard from a couple guys that are coming off the stream though. He said they had one bite all morning. So we'll see. I tell you what, fishing this place in the fall after a dry year, completely different than the spring. I mean, where I'm walking was underwater and there were fish in just about every run. And I was going to try some of my new stuff, but I figured, you know what, like one of my best days of the year here in the spring was on this lure. Maybe different colors of it. It was on the Dynamic Lures HD Trout. So I just figure, let's start with that first, you know. And this is very shallow compared to the spring. It felt like a fish. Oh, it was definitely a fish. He just swirled on, even though the bait was messed up, he just swirled on this. Might have been my only chance at that guy. Well, we know he's there. Don't know if there's any of his buddies over there, maybe. Like I said, the other guys I talked to said they had one bite between the two of them, so. Oh, there was another fish. I got excited and got caught on a leaf behind me and blew up my spool. That is a bad blow up too. That definitely wasn't how I wanted to start. I basically ended up pulling like over probably half the spool of line off to get that bird's nest out. It was by far the worst one of the year. I'm out there looking to see if I can see any more fish. So I got to stay a little bit closer to the edge. You know, I just got so excited because I had strikes there right off the bat. So we're going to keep fishing. I do have a backup rod in the truck just in case. You know, I don't drive this far and don't bring it back up. I think there's enough. This is a small stream, so I put a little bit longer leader on to buy myself an extra few feet. Maybe that'll help too if the fish aren't biting real well. So let's get back on the water. So I was trying to stay back a little bit from the edge just to not spook the fish. You know, I think the potential plus side of having half the line on here, it could be a downside too, because I'll have to be careful. But the you know, one plus side could be I can throw anything today as light as I want to go, and I think I'll be fine because this Silver Creek already does a good job. But with somewhere around half my normal line, I can already feel that it's, you know, it's really casting well. There's 2 or 3 spots up here that have the potential to hold fish in low water. It's not super deep. Okay. Try the next spot. It's just right up around the bend. You know, this is the stream that really got me hooked on bait finesse and on trout fishing. Like I said, it is a kind of special place to me. Those are the same guys I saw before. Guess we'll head downstream. Ooh. I definitely just saw a fish. I don't know if it was a trout or if it was something else. Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely a few trout in there. Well, we've definitely been off to a challenging start. But honestly, even though the water's sort of skinny in a lot of places, I have still been seeing fish. But with the right conditions, the low water, crystal clear low water at that, it has not been easy to entice the fish. I've had a couple follows on this, so they're interested in feeding. I'm actually seeing a lot of fish, and I don't know if that picked up or not. But, so I'm going to go back to. Actually, I think I'm going to switch to the Euro tackle jerkbait minnow. There we go. There we go. Good looking fish. Pretty, not real big. I really haven't seen any big fish today. But got the first one in the net. Ooh. There we go. He's ready to go back. That fish actually, I was watching him follow it, and basically at about the last possible moment to where, you know, if you think of it like the bait was going to get away, he hit it on about the last pause. Well, that's the same as normal on this stream so far. I think my hookup rate is not great. Well, I mean, my hookup rate's pretty good, but my landing rate, there we go. Sometimes I wonder, like when I see, or when I end up in stream conditions like this. That was a bad cast. Be back. Like I was saying, when I end up in stream conditions like this, and, you know, there's a lot of fish, and it's not like it's a banner day, but I've had a few strikes. You know, it's not like there's no activity. When I see guys leaving, and they tell me, oh no, they only had one bite, like they didn't really see any fish all day, kind of makes me wonder, like, are they just sort of lying to you? They don't want to, like, I'm already here, I'm coming down to the water, for crying out loud. It's not like I'm not going to go fishing. I wouldn't call this a really likely spot to catch fish, but based on the water conditions, I feel like it's worth a couple casts, see if I can move anybody. Ooh. Yep, I moved somebody, all right. Now they're just sort of average size fish, but that one was a little bit bigger. Oh, he missed it. He missed it. There's a few fish in that hole. I saw one that was a little bit bigger. Tell you what, I'm going to change baits because they're interested in the minnow bait, but they're not committing to it. So I'm going to put something, I don't know, maybe more flash. Switch to the Flat Rigga 45S. I either got from Japan Lure Shop or Digitaka. I don't remember which one it was. Now I will say this one sinks a little bit faster, so it is an S, right? Casts like a rocket. Still see that bigger fish over there. This might be more of just a straight retrieve than a twitch, because it's collecting everything on the bottom. The fish aren't real aggressive so far, and honestly they're not even like looking at this, like they're not paying any attention to it whatsoever. Move on to the next one. So I actually remember when I was up here in the spring, I was so uncertain about this stretch of water that I walked up and around. Made it difficult to fish this next pool down here. Of course, I just about fell in anyway, but so far, the Euro Tackle Z Spender has pulled fish in from pretty good distances. Keep running into you guys. I got one and had a hookup that got off. Just been messing around with different lures, figured out what they want. Pretty tentative. I mean, he watched it, and in the last second, took it. But that was so. Yeah, I could see him. I pulled him off the other bank, and yeah. Well, that's part of the challenge, right? I mean, it is a challenge. Isn't a great number. Yeah, I had to have seen at least 20 up there. Okay. So, and they were basically from the bridge, from the bridge down to that little like circular pocket. I don't know the names of all the holes on this creek, but see how long I am, and I might check it out. So, I'm Aaron. Yeah, nice to meet you guys too. Good luck. Maybe I'll run into you down there. Thanks for the tips. Lens is a little dirty. Don't know how that'll look. Hey, so yeah, those guys are nice guys. They weren't trying to mislead me. They just literally hadn't seen anything. Did get some nice tips of maybe another spot to hit on my way home. The next pool's down here, and then there's a couple more. But the idea of a lot of people, they just walk into the easy access points to the best spots. And back in the spring, I caught. I'm actually looking. I think it's right down here. I caught what at the time was my personal best rainbow in between holes, right? And it was in the rapids, and so sometimes that extra walking pays off. Plus, it's good exercise. So let's go see if we can catch anything in this next hole. Down here is where I caught that big rainbow in the spring, but it doesn't look like there's much here. In fact, all of the rocks on the left here were underwater at that time. So it's, I'm trying to watch to see if I see anything. I've seen a couple little chubs, but so it's really, really skinny water. Cool thing is, you get to really get a feel for where the true pools are. And when I come back, maybe later in the fall or next spring, I'll have an even better idea. But yeah, I definitely caught that fish down in this area. Ooh. Okay, just had a fish flash on that. Damn it, what is going on here? He had to have felt it, but I didn't feel him. I saw him charge it. It's like, might be the only fish in here. It was weird because like he must have felt the hook or something. Because I saw him charge it, and then he made the movement like, "Ah, I've been hooked," but I never ever felt him. And that looks awesome down that way, potentially. I don't know. I think we're gonna try to get down to that spot, and then that'll be the end. Okay, so that next hole down that I could see, I saw people walking around down there. I don't know if it's the same guys that I've run into 3 times already, or if it was somebody else, but I'm actually gonna look at, actually I see them walking right now. There's somebody. So that's the second group of people walking across that spot. And there's at least 3 guys there. So I'm not gonna go down and fish that section. So I'm gonna head back to the truck, and I'm gonna go see if I can't find closer to the mouth of this where it feeds into the river, and see what we might be able to do. So I'll see you probably on the next one. 1 fish so far today. Actually, I said I was gonna go hit the next spot, and then I looked up, and right where I stopped, because I saw those guys, there's a stream feeding in right here. So I'm going to go up this stream a little bit just to see if there's any pockets, or maybe I'll be able to catch some native brookies. It's exactly the kind of water where sometimes I find them. It's got some brownish, orangish tinge to the rocks, so may not be a good thing. If I find some, I may have to change my lure. Like, that's a pretty deep little pool right there. This is a big lure, but they're pretty aggressive fish. I don't know. There's just something about this water that, with the stain to it and as slippery as it is, that I kind of feel like there's not going to be any anytime soon. So let's just head back to the truck. Kind of feel like if I head towards the parking area just by the compass, that I should run into a trail. Heck, I might have just run into a trail. That is definitely a trail. May not be a straight walk through. Didn't think I'd find a trail that fast, but it's a very cool section of the stream. Look at this. My gosh. But here's people that are coming here just to sightsee. This is a phenomenal spot. Just from a beauty perspective. But we do have this little section of foam here. Could potentially be harboring some fish. No activity yet. This is almost like natural steps up around this way. Let's see if this takes me up and around. Okay, I don't know if we're going to be able to see this. when I come around this boulder or not. There's a big waterfall up there. Honestly, we start getting into this water, we're getting into stuff that I just really haven't had much success fishing before. I just don't see that it's going to be productive for me. Well, hey, this is definitely a popular fishing spot. It's absolutely beautiful here, which is nice, but there are guys fishing everywhere. So you know how I am, not always all that thrilled. And this is fairly big water. When we start getting into stuff like this, I mean, guys are starting to whitewater kayak in here. You know, hey, it is what it is. Maybe what I'll do is there's some waterfalls up around the bend. I'm gonna go check those out and we'll call it a day. See you at the falls. So that's going to wrap up this video. Appreciate you watching. I'll see you next time.